Okay, so we in the last lesson we were able to create the server, our server application. Now we want to create a client, which is the we'll be able to use to connect to this particular server now. So how to create your client application, that is socket client. I'm going to just call it client.py. Right now, to create client your client application, there are a lot of similarity between the creation of a client application and that of the server. Just that the method is just the difference, which is the method connect method. All right, so let's go. So the first step is to import the socket module, just like we did for that of the server. So we import the socket module. We are simply say import socket, and that's it. We got our socket. Then the second step is similar to that of the server, is to create a socket object. Okay, so let's go now. So we can just call it, let's say my socket, just to differentiate between it and that of the server. So my socket, so call on the socket, then socket method, socket, then socket dot AFNet, AFINet, which is the address family, then socket dot sockstream constant. We use it here too, sockstream, and that gives us our a socket object, which is my socket, and I'm going to copy it because I'm going to be using it often. So I'll copy this very fast now. So copy this the socket object. So the next thing we need to specify the port we want to connect to. So specify the server port to connect to. Okay, and our server port, let's see it again. The port number that we're listening, the server is listening to is 1990. So you go over there and specify that one in your client. So you go over to the client. We'll come over here and say our port that we want to connect to is 1990. All right, because that is the port that the server is listening to. All right, so now what next? The next we need to do now is to connect to the server. So to connect is simple. I'm going to just paste the server, the socket object, which is socket.connect. All right, then we now pass it the host address and the port number as a single argument, and to do that is just to put both of them in a bracket inside the connect method parentheses. But also we'll now come over here, so we want to specify that we are using connecting to the local network 1200. All right, this particular IP. All right, for local host. Then we now specify the port number, which I've defined already, which is 1990. So with this, our connection to the server is established. So now, but we want to receive the message that the server, we can see that our server is sending a thank you message. So we want to have a way of receiving that message and printing it out for us to see, which it is thanks for connecting. Okay, we need to look for a way to get it. So to do that, that's why we need to see how to make use of to receive. We're going to say okay, let's say print received message from server. All right, so to do that is very simple. So just print, and you call on the object here, which is socket dot receive. Then we specify the buffer size, which is the amount of bytes that we want to be able to receive, the maximum byte size of data that this client will be able to receive. All right, so we want to specify that it should receive at least 1 gig of data. So once that is done, the next thing that we need to do, okay, we need to decode because it's encoded in bytes. So you need to now call the decode method to decode the encoded method, that is encoded message that is in bytes. All right, so when you in the server you use encode to turn the string, in case you are sending a string, so that it can be decoded. So you encode it in the server, then on the client side you decode it, the method that you're able to print it out to your screen. Then finally, when we are done, you close the server connection, the client server connection. Okay, close the server connection. That is this client connection to the server. So to do that, is just to we call on the object, the MySocket object, and just call on the close method, and that's that. Our application, our client application is ready. Now we want to use this client now to connect to the server. So to do that, we're going to run the server right now on a terminal, and we'll open a different terminal to run the server. Then we'll now run the the client in this IDE here. So let's quickly to run the our server. So I'm going to go to the desktop. I'll open here Python lesson so that I can navigate very easily to a command line, so that it will just open up very fast. So I'm right here now. So I'm going to run the server PyServer.py. You see now, so socket has been created. Server is listening at port 1990. All right, so let's go to our IDE now and run our clients now. Okay, now server is already waiting, listening, waiting for connection. So just come over here, py client.py. So you see the client received, the server client has received a message, so it's connected successfully. This shows that the client was able to connect to the server successfully. So let's check the server right now. You see server says server received connection from this particular, and it specifies the port number of the particular client that you received from. All right, now our server, if you look very well, we program our server such that it can receive as many up to it can receive a connection from more than one client. Okay, so let's just see, we want to connect with another client now. So to do that, I'm just going to open another terminal. Okay, another terminal the same way we open the first one, and again we'll run, this time around we're going to run py client. So it's receiving one from the IDE. One of the clients is running from the IDE, and one of the one is running in this place. So another connection has been registered. So the server now has two connections, all right, on the same machine. So let's see, for the server now, you see it has gotten two connections, two clients as connected. So you can go on and on, maybe until 10 like that, and keep on connecting. So it's like, so this our server now is serving like a central server where multiple clients are not able to connect. So this is very important. Now, if you want to test this out, and to make it more clearer, you could, if you have two computers, you can install the server. You can run the server in one of your computers, then use one of in another computer that you have. You run the client, then you see how it will connect. So that is it. This is basically what socket programming is already the simplest example on how to work with socket, to implement socket programming in Python programming language. So that is it on this session on network programming. So move over to the next lesson right now.